How's it going, everybody? Gory Plains 344 here, and we are here with the deck that I played during the Duelist Cup. Now, I didn't make it to level 20. I was at level 19 for the longest time, and I think I was a little close to getting to, I think I was about like 2 wins away or something like that, because I know at one point I was 1 win away, but you know, floodgates go burr, I suppose. Gave up on reaching 20, because the metagame in Master Duel is just so abhorrent. Oh my god, but This is the list that I was playing, and I have to say, for Master Duel, I think I'm very comfortable with what I have right now. I think everything is at a number that I am very happy about. So that's something that is very nice, I definitely have to say. I know at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a really cool replay from the Duelist Cup that this deck shined in. We broke an amazing board with this deck, so be sure to stay tuned to the end for that replay, but we're just going to go over the card by card, and I'll show you guys some options that you can play if you want to, especially with the new Banlist coming out. Some things might change in terms of matchups, but I don't really think the metagame is being shaken up enough for that to really warrant any main deck changes. But let's just go ahead and get into this card by card here. We got 2 Maxi, 2 Harvester. Harvester being a 2 is very nice. 3, it feels like you see him too often. And 1, you need to have at least 2 mandatory in the deck because you want to be able to search off Gear Gig and X. So I definitely like this. I am playing the gear frame version. I do think that this version is a lot more powerful than Dozer Control. Dozer Control is definitely better at stunning, but I think if you just want a stronger end board and just stronger bosses, I just think the gear frame version is just much better at what it does. So we got the 2 Ash Blossom, obviously the 3 gear frame, the 1 Ancient Gearbox to search off Ballista, and of course the one card that I hate more than the entire world, Claw Spear. You guys saw my last Earth Machine video. I drew him in every hand out of 8 duels. 8 duels in a row. He was in every hand. I don't know how. But he puts the AS in his name for being ass as a brick. But all in all, Unclaw Spear, when you don't draw him, is an amazing card because of the fact that he enables your Gigi and X combo line. Very good card. I'm honestly contemplating maybe bumping him to 2 so that you have something like guaranteed with like redeployment or normal summoning a gear frame, because it's rough when you draw him. Or maybe playing more than 40. I don't know. We'll see. We got 1 Trencher, 1 Tunneler, and 1 Brittle Dozer. I'm very satisfied with one of each of these. I think that you kind of want to keep them at 1. Dozer is the only one that I could say you could bump up to more numbers if you would like to. There has never been a time where Dozer in hand has been a bad thing, but I do have to say if you play multiple, drawing multiple of Dozer is horrible. So that's why I just like the 1 of it. Allows us to play more main deck stuff like spell trap removal, hand traps, and stuff like that. So that's why I play 1 of him. 1 Fortress, because this card is a godsend, especially when you're up against floodgates and stuff like that. This guy just being able to summon himself out without it being in effect is just amazing. I played 2 Derricrane. This card is insane. Not only is it an extender, but it's the fact that you get a guaranteed pop when you detach it from material. So even if they flip up something like a skill drain on you, you're getting to detach it as a material for an Xyz monster, which still is going to pop a card, which is why I very much like Derricrane here. 1 Bullet Train. This guy is still just a 1-of. You don't want to play multiple. He's just an option. Usually you're searching Derricrane when it comes to your River Stormer now, because you can get, with the redeployment combo, you can get a guaranteed rank 10 with Derricrane. So that's why I go for him. But there are sometimes, if the hand is just rough, I go for Bullet Train because that recursion effect is just too good to pass up on. And of course, the Citadel, the Royal Rare Citadel. I'm still going to show this off till the day I die. I'm so happy I have this guy Royal Rare. It is a fucking gorgeous card, baby. But yes, Citadel, definitely the heart and soul of this deck. That is a fact. This card is insane. So I've seen some people play 2. I cannot do that. I like 1. He can be a hardcore brick if you draw into him if you have no way to see Fortress. But I just like the 1-of. And then 1 Rune Force. I play 1 Rune Force because he's an option. There are some times when you actually summon him during the main combo if they interrupt you somewhere before your dozer. So I just like Ruin Force too much as a card to ever pass up on this. For spells, we've got 3 of our Harpy's Feather Duster here. Or not 3 of it, 1 of. I'm going crazy right now. If only it was a 3 against all this back row stuff, man. I'm telling you. But we are playing 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. I am very happy I'm playing that plus the 2 Twin Twister. We'll go and just talk about the Twin Twister. The reason I'm choosing to play Twin Twister over Lightning Storm is the biggest thing with Earth Machine. Earth Machine has such an easy time getting over monsters. The back row is the problem. And the fact that this deck has so much like discard fodder that Twin Twisters just feels like free half the time. Like if you open Ruin Force, Citadel, like Fortress with Twin Twister, it is so free. And that's what I like about it. Because there's actually been some instances in the Duelist Cup where I have opened a Trencher, a Harvester, and Twin Twister. And what I will do is I will Twin Twister to pitch the Trencher. That way we can bring back the Harvester and make like another link play or something. Like it just stuff like that, because you can pop back row and then get free advantage off of it, which is what I like about Twin Twister a little bit more than Lightning Storm in this deck. But of course, if you have Lightning Storm, you can easily cut them for Lightning Storm. It's all about personal preference and what you feel the most comfortable with. We have 1 Monster Reborn. This card has come in very clutch, especially as just another form of extension or just a way of recurring back your Citadel for free. 3 Redeployment and 3 Heavy Forward. This deck just has so much searching capability. Like, Redeployment is an insane card, and Heavy Forward is also an insane card. There have been a lot of times where I have opened just like Gear Frame Heavy Forward, and what I will do is I will activate Heavy Forward as kind of like the Ash bait. And then for some reason, if they only have like Imperm, I'll get Brutal Dozer, normal summon the Gear Frame, and if they negate Gear Frame, you just immediately tunnel into the Infinitrack combo, because the Infinitracks still have their 1-card combo in the Gear Frame version in case you need to tunnel into that. You won't end on a guaranteed rank 10 depending on what your hand is, but you can still get the draw 2 and just some consistency added into it with Citadel in rotation. So that's what I like about Heavy Forward, being able to just kind of smokescreen into that with Brutal Dozer and stuff. We have 3 Urgent Schedule. This card is phenomenal. You're going to go second 9 times out of 10, it feels like, because at least with my luck, I lose every coin toss. So I just kind of have the deck more tailored to going second. So I play 3 of this. If you're trying to build a more going first variant, you could cut this down to 2. But this card has just been insane. Like, this card has literally broken boards on its own. I love this card so much. 2 Called by the Grave. This card is insane. I have had games decided because of Called By. 3 Imperm, just as another form of hand trap, because it's just such a powerful card, and plus being able to draw into it with, if you're going first with the draw 2, just gets you more interruptions, which is very strong. And then 2 Overdrive. I play 2. A lot of people only play 1. Some people have even actually cut this card. I don't know how you can cut this card. This card is just too insane to me. Being able to not only just get a free summon from deck, which sometimes can actually just summon out a Fortress or just put another body on field with Gear Frame, it's the fact that it can proc your Citadel. If you have a brick hand where you just have like a normal summon of a machine in this, it still gets you Citadel. And the graveyard effect is what allows you to get your resource loop going, because it recycles your banished Earth Machines. So you just immediately, after you do the draw 2 combo, you put back your Trencher and Tunneler, and then your Dozer from the grave into the deck, draw 1, and then your entire Infinitrack line is live again the following turn. So it's just too good of a card. Please play 2. There have been so many times where just the second one has come up for me. I highly recommend it. Then for extra, we got 1 Gear Gigant X. This card being a UR broke my back. Holy shit. But this card is genuinely amazing. I'm happy to see this card being played, because I've always loved Gear Gigant X as a card, man. I'm happy to know that we can actually find a home for it with the Gear Frame package, because it just searches out your Harvester and lets you combo off. We have the 1 River Stormer. This card, insane. Just basically searches or foolishes any Earth Machine. Actually insane. Enter Blastnir. Now, this guy is very important. Redeployment is a technically 1.5 card combo, because you need a discard, but you always have discards. This guy, Redeployment by itself, gets Enter Blathnir throughout the combo. So you rip a card out of your opponent's hand, you end on Anchor Knuckle, plus a Super Door with a Daracrane as material, which is very, very strong. for a first turn play, in my opinion, because of the fact that you have to think that's only, you're taking 2 cards basically, so you have 3 cards in hand, then you're drawing 2, so you have 5 cards in hand by the end of it, and you're deck thinning so much that odds are those cards you're drawing are going to be things like your Twin Twister, your Overdrive, your Impermanence, your Called By, Urgent Schedule, Maxi Ash. And because your end board is only 2 monsters, Urgent Schedule comes live so much during your opponent's turn, even with those 2 monsters. So that's why Enter Blathnir is very strong, because it just allows you to rip a card out of your opponent's hand for free throughout the combo. 1 Earth Slicer, this card comes up a lot. Being able to just pop a bunch of cards is very strong. And 3100 is actually a very important number, getting over things like Baron and stuff very easily. Then for our rank 10s, we've got the Rail Cannon Gustav. This guy burning for 2000 is what is your OTK, because you just turn him into Libe, who is your OTK machine. Then we have Dora. This guy is your defensive option when you're going first. I literally just like saying, like, this is the offensive if you're going for game, this is the defensive if you're trying to stall for another turn. Because he can make any monster unaffected by card effects except its own. So you can basically just target him or your Anger Knuckle, make it unaffected to proc your guy. And then of course we have Zeus, because it's an Xyz focused deck. It's just free. And we got 3 Goliath. You only play 3. The main reason you play 3 is just because of the fact that throughout the combo you get 3 into the graveyard, then you just shuffle them back to draw 2, so you're not really putting stuff into the main deck. That's why you play him, but he's also very important because if he's sent from the field to the graveyard, targeting Xyz, he attaches himself to it as a material, and an Xyz monster whose type is machine has it as material. It can't be destroyed by card effects, so you can like detach to put him onto River Stormer. That's how you get River Stormer to keep coming back each turn. You can put him under Zeus, so Zeus can't be destroyed, and just give Zeus another material, which is really funny as well. Genius is very strong. I very much like this card. He is your out to some floodgates that are out there still, even with IO and Vanities being banned. People are still going to have a crap ton of floodgates because best of one, you know how that is. So this guy is your very strong out to that. And his effect actually to search comes up if you have Urgent Schedule. I've had that happen one time in Duelist Cup where I've made this guy, done Urgent Schedule, summon 2 to his zones, and then I just search a level 5 or higher machine, which is actually really funny. That won't come up often, but it's just kind of like a niche effect if like your hand is not the greatest. 1 Anger Knuckle, you only really need 1 because of how much you can recycle your banished stuff. If they called by him or something, you can immediately just overdrive shuffle him back. So it's funny because like called by does hurt because you're not going to get like the effect of that monster that turn, but it doesn't hurt because it's like, oh, you're never seeing that card again. Overdrive allows you to recycle against that type of stuff. 1 Platinum Gadget. This guy is here for the very niche situations where you need to make him instead of if you have no access to Fortress. The main combo is just Redeployment, but there are some times where like you draw a weird hand where you have the gear frame plus the Harvester already in hand. So if you have that, you just make Gadget to summon out the Harvester. You won't get the Enter Blathnir play, but it's just another variation of the combo line. Then, of course, 1 Ballista. You play 1 of this guy because of the fact that he circles your box. And yeah, that's about it. There are a bunch of different things you can play. Like, you can play different hand traps. You can cut hand traps if you want to play more removal-based cards and focus on going second. You can play Kaijus if you want to. There are a lot of variations that you can play because you have so much flex space. Because if you really think about it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 12 flex spots that can be anything you want. Technically 13 if you want to cut Monster Reborn, but you have so many flex spots that if you want to play Floodgates like Skill Drain and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to. There's just so much like power in this deck because of the fact that you have access to all of these spaces to play just a bunch of generic cards. And I love this deck. It is a deck that I will continue to play. I actually play it in the TCG in the current format, so I'll make another deck profile about what I'm playing in the TCG probably shortly after this one. But yes, this is what I did going into level 19 of the Duelist Cup. It was really fun. The deck performed very well. It's just the Master Duel metagame is just frustrating to say the least. But let's go ahead and go into that quick replay so I can kind of show you guys what all happened in that. All right, so here we are with the replay. As you guys can see, they are doing their thing, right? You know, they're popping off with the adventure package. They normal summon the Ash, which was a little weird to me at first, but then they're just kind of doing their thing. They're summoning out their Tsuchinoko, and then they go ahead and summon out Cherubini, which definitely threw me for a loop because I was ready to be Auroradon to the next fucking dimension, but I guess not. So they proceed to go ahead and summon out the Graph, and then they start doing their PK shit, but then they use Seer, bring it back to Cherubini, and then they start kind of doing a bunch of stuff with PK, with Shade Brigading, but it kind of threw me off. I was very shocked to see that was the line they went with, because I kind of expected Fogblade to be somewhere within like the combo line, but I guess not, so they kind of end on DP here, and then this is what their end board is, because it's very obvious that's probably the Fogblade set, right? So their end board right now is they have an Omni Negate, they have DPE, and then they also have the Fogblade plus an unknown in hand. We don't know what that could possibly be. Our hand is actually pretty fucking bonkers. We open Redeployment, but we also have access to Called By for the DPE, Twin Twisters to pop his back row, and Imperm to target the Griffin, plus a normal summon of Gear Frame in hand. So let's go ahead and play this out. And we drew Urgent Schedule, you know, just in case it couldn't get any better. So we fire off the Imperm here on this Griffin, so its effects are negated, so he no longer has that Omni Negate. We fire off Urgent Schedule to just go ahead and get Citadel into rotation here. So that way, if he fires off DPE, right, he's going to pop the Citadel, put him in the graveyard for us. He's going to activate the effect. We are going to immediately Called By to just get rid of this guy so we don't have to deal with him. So we go ahead and fire that off. And so now DPE is out of here, like he should have fucking been on the ban list, but you know, it's fine. But so we go ahead and fire off Redeployment. We're going to pitch this Gear Frame to add a Gear Frame and add an Overdrive. The reason we're adding Overdrive here is because of Twin Twister. We're going to pitch that to the grave to pop Fateful and the back row. And what do you know? It was Fogblade. Who would have saw that one coming? So then we're going to make Gear Connects, and just like that, we've actually managed to go straight into the usual combo. We just don't have access to Unclaw Spear, which is actually very funny. So then we proceed to do Fortress, and then we go ahead and make ourselves this copy of Ballista. Ballista, what Ballista is going to do is he's going to add Box, and Box is going to add Infinitrack Trencher from our deck to our hand here. And then we're just going to vomit those into the graveyard to summon back Fortress, my boy. And we're going to use Trencher to banish him, and we are going to get back this copy of Harvester. And then Harvester is going to let us get our Brutal Dozer. Now, this is where we would kind of make Enter Blathnir to banish a card. But what we will do instead is go into Earth Slicer. Now, there's a play for this. We're going to go ahead and sack off this Ballista, and we're going to make Dozer. Dozer is going to bring out the Tunneler, which is our draw 2 guy from the grave, and then we're going to make River Stormer, and we're going to make him detach, and at this point, we're going to grab Derricrane so we have our rank 10 access. So then we're going to link him off for a copy of Goliath. And then we're going to use Earth Slicer. We're going to pop himself and Griffin because that will bring back the Citadel from the graveyard. And the reason that's important is because he's a level 10, which will trigger the Derricrane in hand, and we can summon him out and then proceed to make Gustav detach for 2,000 and then overlay for Libe and punch him for 6k over his birthday. And just like that, we broke a pretty decent board, I have to say. But we also got very lucky with our hand there, I do have to say as well. But Earth Machine has very strong capabilities of breaking boards. Even if our hand, we didn't have stuff like Called By, for example. It wouldn't matter about DP coming back because he's dead. And for instance, another example is like, even if Fogblade was still allowed to go off, we had so many forms of extension that it just did not matter, you know? So that was a very good example of just the deck's ability to break through boards very easily. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this, more of like an in-depth explanation onto why I'm playing the cards I'm doing in Master Duel. And expect an Earth Machine video probably up either, I might upload it today or I might upload it tomorrow, for what is based in the TCG. But thank you guys so much again for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye!